Welcome back to Made Up of Wires. I did some audio settings changes over the weekend and just realized all the background music is now filtered out. So this might be a relatively quiet stream. I don't know if it ever came through. It was always relatively low. We are decompiling Castlevania Symphony of the Night. This is the page that I normally show up with. If you're not familiar with the Castlevania Symphony of the Night decompilation project, you can go to soten.z.dev where you'll see progress on the various overlays that we've been working on. And you can find a link to GitHub, find all the code that has been decompiled, or a link to Discord where we're chatting about tooling and different things that we've been doing. We were working a little bit on the Faerie familiar last week, and I think we'll continue on that function today. I'm going to look to see if anybody else has picked that up, and if so, what the state of that is. Otherwise, we'll keep working on that. If somebody else has gotten closer, finished off, we'll work on something else. Last week, Monday, I spent a while talking about video game preservation and what we're able to do legally with decompiling and other things like that. And I want to make sure that everybody knows that I'm not a lawyer. I'm not your lawyer. This is not legal advice or anything like that. But Modern Vintage Gamer posted a video today about basically the same topic, about how the Video Game History Foundation was not given permission to share their archive online, and when they petitioned for an exemption, that was rejected as well. And MVG gives a pretty good overview of what the state of that is. I don't completely agree with everything that he says, but 99% of it I think is fair. I do think that copyright is important for creative works, and we should be respecting copyright as much as possible. And in general, the law, as we are governed by. And so there's a bunch of comments not related to MVG. Anybody can comment, obviously, on his YouTube channel, but saying that if people don't offer things for sale, then we should be able to download them, et cetera, et cetera. Ultimately, if you create something, it's your right to be able to sell it or keep it or do what you want with it, and I think that's fair. How long should you be able to have that right after releasing something to the public for the benefit of the public? I think that's a very debatable thing. And should a company be able to take an individual's work and then market that for decades upon decades? I think that's debatable as well. But that's currently the law, and we need to respect the law and make sure that what we're doing is legal and right, and that's what we're going to be doing today. Some legal and just decompilation of copyrighted works that are transformative and creative. Last Thursday, we finished off, or Alucard, I wasn't here, Alucard took over the stream, and he was working on just a random Faerie familiar function that we had pulled. And we were about 80% match here. I didn't work on this. Kind of had a hard weekend and had to deal with some things, and so didn't really do any decomp or soten stuff. Just kind of wanted to curl up in a ball with the rest of my family. So we are where we left off on Thursday. I'm going to do a quick search though and see if there are any forks of this yet or any distinct decomps. It looks like we have the only one, so we can keep going. FBI, open up. Yeah, come and get it. You can take my soten out of my cold, dead hands. So what we, just to kind of back up and bring myself back up to speed as to where we were, I think we had gotten rid of all the obvious extraneous variables that were not needed anymore. And well, let me just see. So there are some structs, it looks like, that we might need to figure out, and some other things. So let's just skim through the assembly and see where the matches are. So down on line 32, we have an extra load here, and it's from this particular offset. So this may be getting pulled from, oh, I'm sorry, no, it's getting pulled from this status. So I don't know if we have this status already or not. It's almost as if, I'm assuming this is offset 0. No, it's not. It's almost as if, oh, I see. It's just out of order. So let's see if we can reorder this and correct that. So we ran into some register issues. So the ordering may have been correct there, or it's possible that this is a, I'm not sure. Yeah, our ordering is not correct anymore. I was trying to force the ordering, so it's possible that this variable is being pulled out to get the correct ordering. So let's do that. Let's see if this is actually being referenced. It is being referenced some places. Let's look and see what that is. And we have it as a sign 32. Oh, this is, if I remember correctly, this was part of this big struct here. Oh, not. I live in a civilized part of the world where we know that clocks can't change. They just keep going. There's no daylight saving here. I can shift the stream. I know that it affects more people than it doesn't affect. So I can move it forward or backward an hour. Let's see. I think I have to move it. I have to be earlier an hour. That probably works for me. It actually probably works better for me. maybe the rest of you, at least in the US, I know that there has been talk about getting rid of daylight saving time and how it gives people heart attacks and all those things like that. And I've been blissfully unaware of it for most of the last 20 years. Let's see. So I'm going to look at this this offset and see if I'm remembering correctly. Oh, this is SPSS. Or so we have a an offset at 494. Oh no, this is not related. That one is just data. So we have we have all these here, and whether or not 310 is part of this is somewhat difficult to know at the moment without going through each of these. So the decompiler definitely thinks 2FC is an array. Sorry, not the decompiler, Splat. Later 1 hour, that works less good for me. I need lunch. Okay, so back to here. Not that one. This one. So what I want to try to figure out is, can I leverage this 310 and pull that out into a variable? Let's try that. So it's loading a word. We'll add an HP variable and see if that gives us anything. Okay, so that worked here. Whether that's correct or not, I'm not sure. But right now it's matching, so that's good. So then down here on line 56, we could break this up. This was register differences, so I'm not terribly concerned, but there is some extra instructions here. So let's break that up into 2 statements, and then we'll try to reason about that a little bit more. So the concern here is this add and shift. So I think we tried a couple different variations here last time. So this does look like a... it did look like a mod, but now I'm less confident in that. So let's pull that out as well. I want to look at what our Faerie stats, what that Faerie stats variable is, and maybe go back over. So we just have it as S32. I'm going to go over and see what that actually is, because it doesn't seem like that would just be a 32-bit value. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. It's gonna be a long week, I think. Yes. So okay. So this is supposed to be a reference to familiar stats, but we have it here as a S32. So we're gonna want the first field there. And what is a familiar stats? So it looks like level. So there's a couple more of these that are going to have to be fixed. And let me look back here again. Okay, so that first level was 32-bit. Yeah, I think the only issue, and all these are probably going to be the same, either division or I'm assuming it's going to be integer division. Most of the time, I don't think it would make very much sense to mod the level. Otherwise, you would be getting kind of a rotating effect. Sorry, there we go. So it's this, all these divisions here, I think, are actually divisions. And it's that field is currently marked as assigned 32. My guess is it's never used as a signed value. And so whether or not it could be an unsigned 32, I don't know. That got us a little closer, and let's see if that helped down here on line 57. No, we're still missing a subtraction here. I am going to see what happens if we would treat this as a unsigned. Okay, so let's see. We're taking our value. I just want to make sure that this is not part of the mod. So let's pull those out and we'll do those independently and then see if there's details we can get out from there. And then the other one is level stat. And we might have to pull this out a little further as well to get the value of the subscript operator. Okay, it is part of this. Trying to force this. Force that shift, but that's not doing what I want. Actually, there is a. Oh, this is interesting. There is a shift back by 3. I'm wondering if this is just a division that I'm not getting quite right. And we can go back and see. I'll pull that out as well and see. Just make sure that that is the part that's is missing. And I can look at these others as well and see if those are all missing the same instructions. No, it's not. It's it looks like this is so this gives us some hints. It's possible that we don't know what kind of structure this is. So let's look at that. And maybe we're getting that wrong. So right now we just have this as a array of signed 16s, but it is possible that that is something else. So I'm going to go back over and find that and see if there's any other use of that anywhere. Unfortunately, it looks like it's just this function. All right, so the clues that we have currently are that we're treating this as a signed 16, but we need to multiply by 4. So it's possible that 4 of these are being grouped together. The this subtract of v1, which is our index value, and a0, I wonder if this is mod after all. I'm going to go look at these other ones and see if they provide any additional insight to how this is being used. If we always have the same pattern and we're missing that same subtraction and shift, that points to, yeah, we are. It seems like the wrong operation is being done there. What I'd like to do is fix the size of that, and I'm going to treat it as a collection of 4 shorts, and we'll see if that does anything. It will affect this line 79 because we're just going to be pulling that first value there. We're missing the same thing with an offset of 4, or sorry, a scale of 4 on those shorts. It might be good to start figuring out these offsets for the entity extension as well. Let's see what else, if there's any other big structural things in here that are missing. For loop that I vaguely remember changing last week that that looks broken. So let's focus on these and see what's going on here. So I'm gonna make a new struct, and I don't know what this should be yet. I will see how many of these there are. Thank you, Dig Down Deep. I appreciate it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's hard to know if this 7, 2, 4, and 4, if this is going to be part of that same group or not. But we'll start here. It's funny working in the that's what I mean. It's funny working in the Faerie overlay or the servant overlay. I haven't spent a lot of time here, like I said last week, and the base address of these is different from the stage overlay. So for each of these, we have to go through now and figure out the offset. So we have something relatively similar over here, except our offset is based on OE. OE is would be like the last value in here. So instead of looking at that unknown 0 field, we'd be looking at unknown 3 instead, but the same initial offset. So I'm going to change that here. We're also multiplying by E, which is 14. I'm not sure what to think about that at the moment. But for now, I'm going to change that into subscript and then grab offset 3, and then we can look at the values there and see what happens. And this may go back and forth in terms of matching or not. That was a little weird that it didn't show me. But I'm not terribly worried about that. Same thing here. So this is at offset 10. That may suggest that this is our I don't know offhand. Is there a max cap to the level of a familiar? Yeah, 99 is the max. So if we're doing division by 10, we need at least 10 indexes in that array. Let's see where I was up here. It looks like there's some other things unrelated to the size and shape of this structure that we could continue on. And I could struggle with the other stuff later. So, like I said earlier, we're seeing very similar similar issue there. So here we have a branch that appears to be wrong. It looks like my guess is that this had some funny control structure from the decompiler, and I missed that this should have been inverted when I was changing that. Okay, so then down here on line 85, looks like these are probably backwards. And this happened on the one above as well, and I'm not sure why exactly that's happening. But this is this ended up being very close. And so maybe this gives us some hint as to what might be going wrong here. There's going to change this to a subscript operator as well. This multiplication by e at the end is curious to me. So right now we have this as a just a S16. This is only 2 offsets away, or like 2 shorts away from this other value. So I would have assumed that these were part of the same thing. It also is possible, and I didn't think about this earlier, that maybe it's 408 that's the outlier, and something needs to be done about that. What other possibility is there? It's possible that this isn't a division by 10, and I missed something there, and one of the magic numbers ended up being incorrect. So here, let's treat 40C as an array, and that's going to screw up a bunch of other stuff too. This is kind of a similar spot where I'm not sure that this is actually going to be this size or not. That helped quite a bit. So here we have a shift by 2, when originally there should have only been 1. And this is that same M2C issue that I bring up a couple times a week, where it doesn't size the offsets correctly. So this indicates, though, that it's that this particular section is strides of 7 shorts, or 14 bytes. I'm not sure why, though. However, that everything else there is lining up fine. Register issues otherwise. Everything looks good. 97, I think we have the same issue there, where this should have been flipped. And that looks like there's going to be more of these. A very similar pattern, and getting these all to be structurally the same should make it easy to come back and fix these all when the broader pattern is found. I'm going to just try to get this offset by 7 here, see if that makes a difference. So it looks like that might be the trick, that these were actually offset, that these are 7 bytes in size, or 7 shorts in size. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Each of those 7 are addressed individually. So that could be a reasonable assumption. So I had guessed 4 incorrectly, and it may be 7. So this does lend itself more that this is the correct pattern. Let me look back here again, just to make sure. Oh, but this is actually, it's 7 of these 4 byte structs, and that's this here. So this should have been 7, not 4. So I'm going to, I said 4 byte, I meant 4 short. I'm going to increase the size of that. And then we can come back to these others and get rid of the that multiplication, and these should start working out. These offsets are going to be slightly wrong. So like this is going to be unknown with E. 1, 2, 3. This one should stay the same. Let's go up to line 79 and see if that's worked out now. I'm looking at the match. It's looking much better. So yeah, all that's correct, and even the registers are correct now too. And these look correct as well. So I think we have the right size there, which is good. So when the decompiler comes through, or when GCC optimizes this, it will use this base address, which is offset from the beginning of the struct, because it can pre-compute that, and then it just needs to do the index math on top of that, which when the decompiler needs to look at it then can get confusing. But basically, these are all going to be the same idea. And we could start trying to figure out what each of these fields is then. Like the other one, this can be an and. I think I don't recall if I pulled those out last time to figure out where that difference might be. I'm still not going to worry about the register differences. The immediates, those are addresses. 153, it looks like a type might be wrong. So we have this multiplication. And then masking. The masking doesn't seem to be necessary. So let's look at var S3 and S2. Actually, maybe I will. This is another index that should be, when we resolve the index, I think that will fix this. So let's find this one, and this should still be in the data segment as opposed to SPSS or BSS. And so we know that these are shorts. The shift tells us that these might be 8 bytes each, which would be 4 shorts. And the indexing here, or how these were pulled out by M2C, there's a reference to 94, a reference to 96, 98, and 9A. So that is additional hints that this is a 4 short struct. And so then that multiplication is going to end up being implicit. A couple more of these that need to be resolved. Same things here as up above. So this is going to be that 08 array again. And it was offset 9, 4. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Unknown 5. And these likely need to be flipped like the others. There is one addition that appears to be missing here. It looks like loading this offset 94 isn't happening, or maybe it's happening out of order. And we could see what order is this function getting called in. So we want to see if there's any reason SO might be getting overwritten here. Let me look at the signature here. I'm not sure what the ordering issue is here right now. I'm going to come back to this and see. So we're so our S0 value is coming from this 494 offset. S2 is our index into that. And let's see where that came from to begin with. So we're not setting it, which is probably confusing the compiler. The So ultimately that was S2, but the decompiler made it so that it was being calculated out of band, and it really is just this value here. It's still not correct. But I'll come back to that and try to work that out a little bit. There's probably a few more of these. So we assumed earlier that this was part of an array um, of 4 short or 8-byte values. And so now here we're taking a reference to that array, but really we should be looking at the value or the field prior, this 9.4, and grabbing index 1, which should work out to be the same thing. And then var a0 should be one of these unknown 2494s. And then those offsets should start working out. var a2 here. Oh, we need the so let's see, we're going to grab unknown 0, and then we're going to increment. It looks like actually this is pulling from I. Maybe it's I plus 1. That looks a little better. The shift, sorry, sign less than equal to is wrong. It looks like that should be 1 higher. And we're loading a half instead of a word. So we'll need to fix that too. So that means this value wasn't correct. And now those work out. So our offset is wrong though. And oh, it actually looks like it should work out. Adding OC. No, that's not going to be quite right. We need to add 8. So maybe I was wrong about that offset. I'll come back to that as well. There's going to be several of these down here that are going to follow the same pattern, and we should be able to figure that out as well. Oh, the unknown 1 is now gone. Let's go back up here to 155. Let's see where I screwed that up. We could change that to 2 and see if that... there's probably something that I screwed up there that I'll have to come back to and fix as well. Give me 1 second. I'm going to put you on standby and take a little break and be right back. You're watching Made Up of Wires. We're back. We're back. Thank you, Dig Down Deep. Good to see people paying close attention. All right, let's see. I'm going to keep working down. I know some of these offsets are going to be wrong. I'm not terribly concerned with that. I'm mostly trying to get the structure correct, and then I can go back through and fix up the offsets. So here we have a shift on HP max versus the current HP. This looks like it's backwards as well. The shift is odd. And I'm trying to see if that's... So there is a shift right that is being done. I wonder if this field doesn't just hold the max HP, but also some additional flags. I'm going to flip these around to try to get rid of that move. The move, let's do this. Let's pull this out. And then use HP max here. That looks good. Better. And then we need to figure out are there cases where we need to be concerned about mutating this or not. Oh, HP max may be mutable. So the result of this is pulling the value from A0. A0 is our local register copy of HP max. And but storing it into V0, and so we need to figure out why that might be. So this may be a separate variable, and we'll need to get back to HP max later. Let's see where that is used. It's not used again. So it's only used in these calculations. So we're looking here and seeing seeing if the shifted value is greater than var_a2. var_a2 we pulled from up here, and we're grabbing that from the struct and incrementing it along the way. Here we have a divide by 2, which does look like it is legitimately a divide by 2 as opposed to like a shift right. And it's not clear to me why HP max is being pulled again from the field. But it does seem to make a difference. And so here it's being used in A0 as opposed to V0. That doesn't seem to make a difference, I guess. Let me look at this. So we're shifting right by 4 to check the 0. I just want to see what the type of this is. It doesn't seem like there would be any mathematical reason to do that shift. Oh, I'm a dummy. It's this instruction down here. That instruction is getting pulled up into the delay slot. So it looks like this probably is an else. No. What we want here is we want to convince the compiler that it can't do this this shift regardless of how this works out. And that looks like it did it. I just want to make sure. So we have the wrong registers here. So the way that this was before, when this was inline in the condition here, so because this is a temporary and can be thrown away, the compiler comes through and says, "I'm going to be doing this shift regardless." So and it oh, it wouldn't matter though. Oh, so I can do it on this variable beforehand, and I could recalculate it if I have to. Whereas if we assign it, the compiler could still do that. But for whatever reason, it has decided that it's not worth taking that chance. I don't know why. Ultimately, this is a throwaway anyway. I guess because it does have scope outside of this block, and maybe the way that these were being, or the way GCC of this vintage looked, it may not have had a wide enough scope to know whether or not that value is going to be used. I'm not sure. 414, let me remind myself what that was. It is this one, so we're going to be at unknown 6. And where did I screw this up? Oh, 205. That's where I screwed it up. Okay, and those are matching. Again, we still have register issues. Not terribly concerned with those. This may be something similar down here, where this value is being indexed as opposed to a pointer being taken. Let's look at that again. So here, yeah, so this is going to be the let's see, 0, 1, 2, 3. The second field of this particular value. It's a sine 32, but we're going to take a reference to the first index here, our var a0 underscore 2. I think we can reuse the same var a0 variable and get rid of the underscore 2, and the same thing down here. We'll be able to reuse it down there as well. And we're going to be taking unknown 2. And I think we're just going to be using the index, array index. Slightly different load order here. Oh, and that could be because I'm not recompiling this properly. There we go. It does look like this is being done backwards. And the size is different. That's interesting. So it does look like a 32-bit pointer instead of a pointer to this structure. So let's go back to that. Oh, and going backwards, I wonder if this is just like a mem copy to clear this out. That is possible. Here our jump is to a slightly different place. Oh, there's just an additional stack variable that we need to get rid of. Okay, so down here, I'll redo this to be something similar. I'm less convinced that this is part of the same structure now. And may throw a built-in mem copy in there and see if that makes a difference. Or it could be struct assignment. We could try that. So if we took var a2 and assigned it to a 0, it's going to produce the right thing. Let's see if we did this. Mem copy, I think, is destination. But we don't want mem copy. What is the fill? Memset, thank you. Appreciate you. Always forget the order. There we go. Okay, so we don't have a built-in memset. Let me undo my no built-ins. No. That might not be it. It kind of has that that feeling to me of nobody would write a loop backwards, right? Would you write a loop backwards to go through and set everything? We'll leave it for now and come back because that's getting us pretty close. Appreciate you dig down deep again. Let's see where I screwed up. All right, so there is an additional variable on the stack, or some of the sizes of the variables that I have on the stack are wrong. So let's look for this offset 18 and 20 and see if we can find where those are. Looks like right at the beginning. So again, this is in the delay slot. So let's see where S0 is being used. Down line 79. So it's possible that this is a reference to no, it's not that. What is it doing with S0 here? And that's putting the value of 18 in there. But why? I don't know. I think I got rid of... I didn't get rid of that yet. This is another similar structure. Let's go down and look at line 54. To what we were just doing. So it's somewhat interesting. So this one ends up getting turned into a backwards loop. But so maybe the other ones would as well, if I did that to those. There's nothing terribly special about how this one is working. This looks like it is separate. So it's possible that what's possible? This would be 1, 2, 3, 4 that were I'm not sure, because this would be in the middle of the second entry in this. Oh no, I'm counting these wrong. Yeah, this is quite a bit further away. Oh, I'm really counting these wrong. These are in a completely different area. This is SPSS. So it is possible that it is just a collection of 4 bytes. Yeah, I'm not sure. Let's look at this and see if we can infer any meaning behind any of these variables now that we've gone through and set most of this up. I'm going to focus on the ones that are in 80172 because we'll have at least initial values for those. We'll see if there's any assignments in any of those that we can pull from, or if we're just reading all of that data. Yeah, these are all just being read. I'm going to go through and look as well, see if these are being used anywhere else. I think I've been through most of these already, and seeing that they're not. While I'm here, I'm gonna back this out. We did get quite a bit further, which I'm happy about. The other thing we can look at is these offsets as well. Let's look to see if there is already a Faerie extension. So we're going to be looking for self ext in some of this other Faerie code. Yeah, it looks like there is. So there is a Faerie extension for the entity, and that might help us. No, it's not using. Oh, there we go. All right, and right next to this, I'm going to pull up another copy of this because I want to compare it to the Medusa offset that I have down here. So we're mostly looking in things above offset 84. And so every time we see one of these offsets, multiply by 2 and then add it to 84 in hex, and then we can figure out what the offset is in the Faerie extension. I am also going to make sure that I have that in my context. And I don't. So let's get that. Oh, I don't have the ghost either. This is about where it is. Should rebuild my contacts. I haven't done that in a while. Okay, so I'm going to, I have these side by side in my terminal. Sorry, I can't show both at the same time. I'll try to narrate though as I look off screen here. So this is going to be offset 96, and offset 96 is unknown 96, but we can replace all of these. offset 5. That's going to be 8E. Currently, that's a pad. So we're going to have to replace that pad with something else. So let's go to the context and find our Faerie. And change the pad to 9.0 and get a 16 here at 80. Sorry, 80. 80E? 80. So 6 is going to be similar. It's just going to be the next offset there. So we got to get rid of or remove the pad one more. This should now be down to 2. And this will be our new offset 90. And our pad gets moved one more. I want to make sure that I'm getting the right offset here. Oh, God. Looks like several of these might be getting grouped into the same assignment. But yeah, I got the offsets right, which is good. Offset 7, got to do the same thing again. So quickly we're getting rid of this pad though, which is nice. We're down to 1 unused short there. And if nothing else, we can push a change with the updated structure, which may or may not help other people. And then here's our last one. So all that padding went away. And we already have unknown 92 there. Or 94, I'm sorry. What? Oh, did I name it pad 94? Should have just called it unknown 94 to begin with. And I wouldn't have to mess with that. All right, so 96%. I'm going to start wrapping up. There definitely are some of these offset issues that need to be fixed, and I'm pretty sure that some of these. I'm going to look at this real fast. I can't help myself. That there's probably some of these that are out of order and should be reordered or are part of structs and need to be resolved. Let's compile that one more time. And there looks to be some issue with data types up here as well that needs to be fixed as well. I can get rid of those now. So not everything's done yet, obviously. There is more work to do. But we can keep working on that tomorrow. Yeah, it looks like here there's an index that that needs to be resolved. So a little more. Some of it's low-hanging fruit. Some of it is will take a little more work. But we're pretty far, doing pretty well on that one. As always, appreciate everybody that shows up in chat. Tomorrow is election day in the US, and if you haven't voted and you are eligible to vote, go vote. Vote your conscience. Do what you think is right for your local municipality. That's probably more important than many of the national issues, in my opinion. We'll have something special for Election Day on Made Up of Wires tomorrow, so show up and participate. Let your voice be heard. If you want to know more about decompiling Castlevania Symphony of the Night, go to soten.z.dev and you'll find a link to Discord and you'll find a link to GitHub, and you can find out more by going to either one of those places. I'm here Monday through Thursday decompiling. All of you Luddites with your daylight saving, I'll try to adapt and come on an hour later. I think that should work. I'll just have to eat beforehand. But that's all I have for you today. I'll be back tomorrow. Thanks for joining. Adios.